What is going on, people? How are we doing today? This is United versus Everybody. I am your host, Sean, and this is a Man United News Roundup. Another slow, quiet weekend following that watch along for the Rosenborg friendly, which we will discuss a little later on. Thank you, everyone, again for jumping in on that. If you were able to participate, if not, not a big deal either. But we're back, News Roundup. We've got a little bit to talk about. Some of it may be a little bit of a repeat from the watch along, but haven't got everybody's input yet, so I want to make sure we have a chance to sit down and talk about that. We're talking midfielders today because we've got some updates there. We'll recap that Rosenborg match. We'll talk about some of these academy prospects that we've signed and how we feel about that, and probably vent a little bit about the window because that's just what happens. Plus, we're going to laugh a little bit at some of the stuff I'm seeing on Twitter these days because this stuff's hilarious. We got Ian jumping on with me as well, you guys, so make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you guys are new. We'll be back here in a hot second. Ian, what is going on, my friend?
What's going on? What's going on? You all right?
Just living the dream, living the dream. It's a hot, humid dream these days. It's about 80 some odd degrees, very humid. Feels like I live in an armpit. It's not fun.
It's pretty warm here today. Not like that. It's warm. Not over the top. No crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty gross here. I'm not a fan of summer. If you guys don't remember, I'm not a fan between a bad winter and a bad summer. I'm taking a bad winter all day long because I can't stand being hot.
Fair.
I can't even sleep when it's this hot. It's disgusting.
No. My wife always says it's easier to warm up than it is to cool down.
Yeah, I mean you can put more clothes on. I can't once you get too hot, what else can you do, really? I mean, it gets awkward at that point. Like, there's just no more to do. So, big up Dilla, big up Danny. Hope everyone is having a good day. It is Monday. It is the start of the work week. Big up Sanjay as well. Sanjay, where you at, man? He's like Carmen Sandiego. We play a little game called Where in the World is Sanjay this week. It's going to be something like Marbella or Mykonos or something interesting, or Ibiza or something.
One of the party islands. Where he's got his yacht this week.
Portugal, maybe. I'll go Portugal. That'll be my final say. But we're going to get stuck in, everybody. Hopefully everyone had a good weekend. Let us know what you got up to this weekend, and let us know how your week is going so far. It is Monday, so it's just getting started. But Mondays can be a bit meh, depending on how your weekend was. So we'll do what we can to make sure your Monday's a little more exciting. Don't forget, though, before we do kick in, it is the last call for 20% off in the United vs. Everybody online store. I did pin a link in the chat, you guys. One of a kind gear. I'm rocking.
I can never do this.
I'm rocking the King Cantona shirt today. Check this out.
There you go. It's easier.
That's easy. It's always funny. You can get all sorts of one of a kind gear. You guys.
My brain don't work like that.
You can see the OG green and gold behind Ian as well. It's just like you pointed to, and then like I said, I got the King Cantona shirt on today, so take that, but also go check that out. Nothing's expensive to begin with, and it's all 20% off, and none of it goes towards Ineos or the Glazers, although I'm not going to lie, it would be nice if it did, because maybe that would give them a little bit more money to work with, but it is what it is. But we're going to jump into it, you guys, and see how things are going, so feel free to get involved as we go along. Ian and I are just going to chat about the latest and greatest, and of course I want to know your guys' thoughts, so let's start
definitely.
off.
I know the chat are going to have thoughts on this, and these Real Madrid rumours. I'm going to call them. I'm not going to give them any more credence than that.
There's a lot of rumors going around that I'm going to talk about later, because football Twitter is a bit nuts these days. You and I have spoken in the chat, in the WhatsApp group. There is a WhatsApp group for members, by the way. All these David Ornstein impersonators on Twitter nowadays, like, you guys always check the @, not just the tag, because the @, I've come across about a dozen different accounts pretending to be David Ornstein that are not. And you need to report them when you find them too, because we need to get these people out of here, because they're causing this kind of snowball effect on some rumors, because other people aren't looking too closely. And they're just retweeting.
I know they like to sell those blue ticks, but they need to change ones for like official accounts to like a red tick, and not sell them. So you can't, if it's a red tick, it's the real one. If it's not, it ain't. Simple as something you need. I used to like the tick and then they start selling it. Well, it's just like any business.
Yeah, I ended up having to get one just because just to be able to post longer posts was
Yeah.
nice to be able to do and edit some of them. Sometimes I make a typo or something and don't realize that it's nice to be able to go back and edit it.
Oh, sure.
Like
Yeah.
I
If you're
couldn't do
doing
before.
like regular posts about things like you do, it's worth it. But like you're just getting
Yeah.
people buy accounts just to mess with people. It's like,
Yeah, I don't post a lot. Sometimes I'll live tweet during matches. These days, it's just been me kind of telling everybody to stop listening to different outlets because it's
Sean had to tell me yesterday. I had a couple of days after the game the other day. I'd had a couple of days off football, and I put it on last night, and then I saw Man United agree Vinicius Junior, and I'm like, sorry, what? Because it was Ornstein. I instantly posted it in the chat, and
no,
then Sean were like,
he got caught.
no. I
Go
was
for
just like,
it.
yeah, the shame. I could feel the virtual shame. It
Yeah.
was just pouring.
Ornstein's been pretty quiet. It's been a quiet weekend, and that's where you're going to get a lot of this nonsense. Is nature abhors a vacuum, right? Is the old saying, and so we
Of
tend to
course.
fill it with nonsense. And football Twitter fills it with the craziest nonsense all the time.
Oh,
So, got to learn to sift through it, and we're going to talk about that a little later, you guys. But
absolutely.
we'll start with some lightweight kind of stuff. So fresh off the official release of United's away shirt, which you can also see behind Ian at the moment.
Yeah, and the other side there.
Yeah, we did wear that in our 5-0 win over Rosenborg on Friday, so big up everyone who jumped along for that. We're going to talk about that a little more too. But we also now have some reported
Nice.
photos of our third shirt, which has allegedly been spotted for sale at a retailer. I don't know if you can see it too clearly, but so obviously this is kind of I wouldn't really call it white. It's kind of like an off-white kind of a thing, like a cream. It's so I mean, give me your thoughts here. So I don't know
mean,
if you guys can tell.
instantly,
There's like a
yeah,
graphic on the shoulders and stuff, if you can see that.
I can't see that. It just looks like the Adidas stripes. But I am instantly like, what the? Is that down the middle shit? Please, somebody explain who thought that looked good. Because to me, it looks like someone just put the printing on the wrong way round for a laugh. Like, no way. No, sorry. It looks like a training top. The badges and that should and always have to be here. I'm not having that. I'm not having that in any
It
way.
kind of looks. You could see this a little clearer, bigger picture of what the graphic. It's like it's a rose. It's a Lancashire rose, basically on the shoulders.
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be, which is
I
fine.
don't mind that.
I mean,
I just can't. I'm not doing it. Why can't the Adidas logo and the Snapdragon be on the shoulders? If you want something dead in the middle, just the United badge would look clean. Look just absolutely clean. Just the United logo there. Very.
yeah, it's not
But
for everybody.
nah, if I got that, I would have my wife take those patches off and put them where I wanted them. For certain. Absolutely for certain. Because it would look clean.
Big up, Jarvis. Hope you're doing well, my friend.
Big up the Jarvis.
Big up,
And a
Jarvis.
force
Jarvis, go
with you.
check out my top 21 under 21 video from
Oh, you
this
will
past
like it.
week. There were some Norwegian players in the video as well. Big up, bud. But yeah, so this is probably going to be out soon. It's very similar. So I don't know if I always look for kits like in the World Cup. So Algeria's kit is basically got the same kind of template, everything kind of in the center, same collar, same everything. So if you want a better idea of what it could look like on a pitch, go look up Algeria's kit. It looks very, very similar to this.
I don't know why it's giving me Japanese kit vibes. I know it's the yin and yang sign is just making me feel like it's a bit like the Japanese woman's shirt or something. I'm not down with that. No,
Yeah, it's not my
that
favorite.
won't be popular. I'm telling
Not
you
my
now.
favorite. The away is probably the best one I've seen in a while this year, but different strokes for different folks. Some people really like it, some people don't. I really, really like the white tiger kit from, what is that, 21-22. Some people call it the zebra kit. I call it the white tiger kit because it
know what
sounds a
you
little
mean.
more badass. I really liked it. It's not everyone's cup of tea. I did not like the neon green one from a couple of years back. Some people were like that one. So everyone's a little different. It just is what it is.
When it comes to white ones, it's got to be the view cam. The sharp view cam one was the one for me. That was the white one.
Last year's was pretty nice. The white with the black and the red stripe was pretty sick. I enjoyed that one a lot.
Yep.
And then the one before was actually really nice too, with a wall white with like just the devil badge and stuff, and like the silver stripes. That one was pretty clean. I like that one a lot. Some of our kids have been pretty good these last couple of years.
I'm just not keen on stripes, you know. I don't know what it is. I don't even think I own things with stripes, so weird.
One of my favorite United kits is the 12-13. I guess you can call it the 11-12 away. This was back when Nike was taking the away kit from one year, and then the next year it would be our third. Is blue, but it's got like the hoops, kind of like the black hoops.
Oh, the Vodafone. Is it Vodafone?
No, it's the Aeon kit.
Aeon one.
I'll put it up here. Hold on, I'll find it.
I think I know what one you mean. I'm picturing Rooney in it for some reason.
Yeah, I'll put it up on the screen so y'all can see it. It looks like this right here. Oops, that one's too small. You can kind of see it here.
Yeah, do you know what that just screams? That says two players to me. It's Nani, instantly Nani, and then I'm either Chicharito or Park Ji-sung. Yeah. It's Park against Arsenal when they thought they were going to get us up, and yeah, they didn't.
I think of Van Persie when he scores and he runs over to Fergie in the dugout. Because we had this that first year Van Persie was here, so. That's one of my favorites. I don't know why. I'm not really a big fan of hoops, but for some reason that one I've always just really liked. So it is what it is. But third kit probably going to be out here shortly. Big up Steph in the house. Hope you guys are all having a good
evening,
day.
madame.
Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. We are on the road to 5K now, you guys. We are absolutely cruising.
Absolute legends. I was close to giving the they couldn't get enough likes. 2 streams in a row. I was close to doing more memberships. It was close. Yeah, we were close.
Cruising. We were cruising. We had a good amount of views. Obviously, not as many views as that Wrexham game. I think that it being against Wrexham was probably going to be a bigger deal, and the first preseason friendly. But I think as more World Cup stars, players come trickling back in, like Ahmad is back in now, Bayindir is back in now. I think people will probably start to want to see more. I do always feel a little bad for the people who are like in Trondheim or something who can't go to like Manchester or something because they can only go to maybe some of these friendlies, these preseason games. You know, they want to see some of the players that they love, but that's why I don't go to like when United's in Chicago and stuff because I don't expect to see any of the top players because most of them are going to be on vacation. So
unless you're going to the last couple of games, you're very unlikely to see like a Bruno or something like that.
Yeah, and even then, I'm like, it's a friendly. It's a lot. They're typically even still a lot of money, so we'll see how it goes. Random says it looks like a totem pole. It does kind of look like a totem pole, does it?
It is. It is. I just can't let the yin and yang go now. I can't stop seeing it.
It looks like it looked like they were designing it, and they were like trying to have a talk with each other, like where does each logo look good, and then they just kind of left them all in the middle without putting them where they go. Like they didn't finish it. I
can't see how that was right. I just can't. It looks like someone's taken a photo. You know, sometimes you take a photo and it's big, and then you turn it on side and it goes like that, shrinks it small. It looks like someone's done that accidentally for a joke and seen if it will go through.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah, without the Snapdragon, I mean, if you put the Snapdragon word in there, that would just add another thing to the bottom. That would be it looks.
Or is this United saying we can literally push out any crap and it'll sell?
Oh, I mean, that's going to happen anyway. I've been saying for years that we need to have a fourth kit, and now it looks like we might actually get ones. And like, I don't mind putting fourth kits on things because you're not forcing anyone to buy them. People can buy them if they want to, but it's just money at that point. Like that, I have no problem doing that. I'd rather do that than fire people. I'd rather just put out as many kits as you want. People will buy them, and I don't have a problem with it.
It's true. It is true.
So, but that's the third kit. We'll see what happens. Not my favorite, but then again, sometimes they do end up growing on me. But it is what it is. I'm not a fan of the rose design. Like some things, I like the idea of it. Some things sound good, and then they don't. It reminds me of that PSG kit from the other year where they had like the wings on the shoulder a little bit. Kind of weird looking. But anyway, let's get back into
some... one you mean, the Jordan kit.
Yeah, let's get back into some transfer news because that's enough of this nonsense. Because if you were able to catch the watch along on Friday, we chatted a little bit about this. But now that everyone's here and we're not trying to focus on a game, we can talk a little bit more because Fabrizio Romano dropped a little bit of an update Friday regarding a midfielder that we've been interested in. And I am, of course, talking about Carlos Baleba. I'll read through the tweet, and then we can chat about it a little bit more. Baleba's camp contacted United again to suggest the possibility of returning for the player. It's from the player's side. They are trying to see if United can return for him. He was pushing like crazy 1 year ago to join United as it was his dream. And we all could kind of tell that Baleba was probably a little bit impacted by that failed move. Personal terms were reportedly agreed last year as well. So again, it just never ended up happening. Sounded like Brighton just wanted too much money. I think it was like 100 million, and then middle of the season it reportedly went down to like 75 million or something. Maybe we're waiting for the price to drop more. I don't know. If so, it seems like Baleba's representatives are basically begging United to buy him. Maybe that will help drive the price down. But what are you guys' thoughts on this in particular, that Baleba's camp is basically reaching out? It's weird. You don't really hear that very often, right? That it's coming from the player's side, that come and get me, basically. What do you guys make of this? Go ahead, Ian.
I mean, yeah, so I was just agreeing with what you're saying there. It's rare, but it's also strange that twice in a week we've had agents reach out to us, because that Danilo from Brazil, just his agent, not the club, not nothing, his agent just called us up and said he'd be interested. I'm sure he would, mate. We'll call you, sort of thing. But on a more serious note, I do believe Baleba's agents have been calling, because he clearly wanted a move a year ago. Yeah. We clearly let him down, because what did we say a year ago? We discussed with the player, and then we'll go to the thing when we know the player wants us. Well, Baleba committed to us. He basically came out with a shirt, but we didn't commit to the club. And then this season, we're now wondering why players won't come out and wait for us.
Yeah, I think it's, United went hard last summer on the whole get the players buy-in thing. The issue here, I think, again, is Brighton just held very, very firmly to their valuation of him. They were holding, and to be fair, the 2 seasons ago, Baleba had a very, very good season, but it was like his first season. So I get all sides. Brighton are notorious for being the selling clubs, right, and making a lot of money from a lot of different players. Caicedo is basically the Baleba before Baleba was Caicedo. Yeah. So, and the next player that they sign, whether it's Llorente or somebody, they'll probably turn around and do the same exact thing. It's just the way it is. They are very, very good, Brighton, at finding these players and developing them and flipping them for crazy, crazy money a year or two later. It's just
absolutely,
that's how they roll.
I think the only reason I wouldn't want him is because I know and who Brian will get to replace him, and we all want him. So,
Yeah. You could close your eyes, throw a stick, and hit any number of midfielders that I think could slot in to the Premier League in terms of from other leagues, whether that's a Kamara or an Agume or a Sangare. Llorente, I think, is probably the kind of... I think they'll probably... they seem to go for these 20, 21-year-olds and then, sell them later on if they go for someone a little more established. They tried that with Mats Wiefer. He hasn't really done well. They seem to do better, Brighton, when they bring in the young ones and they can kind of develop them a little bit more rather than necessarily get the finished product.
Absolutely.
I don't have a problem. Big Stupendous in the house. He says, my opinion. I take him. Like I said, I don't have a problem with Baleba as a rotation option especially when you need some muscle, some fight, some legs in midfield against certain opposition. If you're going to have a midfield battle, I don't have a problem with that. I think he'd be a good partner. But if we had 4 midfielders to choose from, I like them all to offer something just a little bit different, and I like them all to complement each other a little bit. And again, against certain opposition, that adds another layer to this as well. I also think his physicality would make a big impact in European football, because we've seen the physical Premier League sides sort of dominate Europe the last several seasons. A lot of English sides have gotten to the finals of a lot of different competitions, and we do tend to look physical compared to Spanish sides, German sides, French side. We just look physical. We look more robust, more intense in things, more aggressive. What were you saying?
Well, that goes. Yeah, I completely agree with the Europe. That will help us. We have previously looked lightweight when it comes to that in Europe in that way, but also in the Premier League. Yeah, like the aggression and the energy and the drive and the relentless work rate are a key factor of how a Premier League midfield ticks. You've got to have that person that runs the engine,
Yeah.
and
He's
I
a bit
think
of
he's
a Ander
perfect.
Herrera, kind of a water carrier, right? A little bit of a terrier, a ratter, as people will say.
Yeah,
So he does a lot of that legwork, so someone like Cobby or maybe Tielemans can do what they do best, and
exactly.
that's I think you
He's a
want players with.
facilitator. You've got to have
Yeah,
those type of players. But I think the
and,
thing that you get with Baleba on top of that, Sean, is he's good on the ball, very press resistant. But
yeah,
when he does drive forward, when he particularly had his very good season, not the one just gone, but the one before, his drive forward, he was one of the most completed key passes into the final third and into the penalty area in
yeah.
anyone in the Brighton team. He's dangerous when he gets the ball forward. He distributes it well.
He can. I think it's hard to
Mm.
look at last year's sample size because he played
Yeah.
about half the available minutes last year, which is also
Mm.
why don't look at the percentiles when you're trying to compare him to someone like Tchouameni, who's
No,
played pretty much all the minutes because it's just not a fair sample. I'm not saying you can't, but it's maybe also use his 24, 25 numbers as well to get kind of a good sample size
exactly.
because he didn't play a whole lot of minutes last year. And
No,
as you
especially at the
as
beginning.
yeah, and if I have to explain how sample size works for a per 90 stat again, I'm gonna lose my head.
You
'Cause,
don't. You don't. We're all right.
again,
It's
go
with
look at
that though.
FootMob and look at the Premier League leaders last year for defensive actions per 90 and tackles per 90, and then that will give you a perfect example of what I mean. Because remember who it was. I said this before.
It's Ugarte.
It is Ugarte, and Ugarte
Mm.
played about 2 minutes, and so when you
Yeah.
say it per 90, that looks amazing.
It's crazy. No, it's. I think with him as well, it's almost outside of the stats, right? We're
Yeah,
talking about it here, and we all know. You just alluded to it. The players have got to work together, and also work in different scenarios together. And we were talking about the missing piece of our midfield cog. I think it is something like him because he offers such a wide range of abilities, but his sheer energy, work rate, and physicality is something the other three do not have.
yeah.
And that, I think, can sometimes be the glue that binds it together. You could put
Yeah,
him with any one of the other three, and it works.
I agree. Again, I don't think he's world class. I think his mentality, the fragility we saw, I think last season, just maybe with being upset about not getting the move, maybe be nerves about
Hmm.
the links. That is a big factor because these are the intangibles. Like you could teach someone to pass a ball, you can teach them to do this, but you can't really teach that kind of resilience and that mentality, at least not as
No.
quickly as I think the professional football world requires. Like a lot of football, like
Yeah.
when I was doing player care certification, when I was in the PFA, like it is fast paced. A lot of coaches, a lot of clubs, they don't put a lot of emphasis on the mental health side of things because they need everybody just to keep working. They can't slow down for everybody who's struggling with
Yeah.
anything mentally. And so unfortunately you do see a lot of players get left behind more often than not even because of necessarily of performance, but like there's stuff going on in their personal lives that maybe is
Of
affecting them
course.
that they don't want to talk about. A lot of players, again, I've heard it from players themselves, don't talk about this stuff because they're afraid of being dropped because of it. Not
Yeah,
because
because
of
you're not
like they're
concentrating on the
weird,
game.
yes, but they think that
Yeah.
you're not focused. And so
Mm.
I get all sides of it. He's not world class. Like I said, as a rotation option. Again, he's young. He's not even a starter at Brighton as well.
Mm.
And I think a lot of us talk about Baleba like, oh, who's going to partner Cobby? Cobby shouldn't even be starting week in, week out, in my opinion, either.
No, it's what you need on the day.
Yeah,
When you rock up, who we playing? Right. Okay. You and you. That's it. That's it. It's not more complicated than that. It isn't. It's just if you've got four things that look the same and do the same job, that's what makes it complicated. But I think if, for instance, let's just say we have him, all four of our midfielders offer something unique that the others don't all offer, and in certain games, I think a Kobe Tillmans could work. In
yeah.
certain games, Kobe Baleba, and then if you're going up, if you're right up against the wall, maybe Santos Baleba, because
There
you're
are
right
certain
up against the wall. It's all different options,
there
and
are also certain games where I do think Tielemans might even come in for Bruno here and there. He
It,
played very advanced positions several times at Villa and at Leicester.
I think that those options, we need to have that. We've got to have an option.
Yeah.
The problem was that Bruno, not only do we not want him to get rotated, but we didn't have anyone to rotate him with.
Yeah.
And again, it's option. And
in
it's
the
got to
perfect
work
world, Mount
together.
maybe would have done that, but Mount's just fit maybe a third of the time, so it's
Exactly.
unfortunate. Yeah. And who knows? Maybe Mount's going to be that like a new signing third midfielder now that he's playing deep.
Don't even put that out of the ether.
We love that phrase, right? He's like a new signing when someone comes back from loan or injury or something. It's just how it works. That's why we see.
We'll get to the match, but it was a fantastic goal. But I hear straight away people saying, "Let's give him a chance." No,
we're not.
That's what I'm going to say. We'll get there. We'll get there.
With Baleba, like you say, he's much more press resistant, and especially in that first kind of 5-10 yards in the transition in his own half than someone like Ugarte is, for instance. Ugarte, I never really trusted on the ball in his own half.
No.
He had some bright moments in and around the opposition box. He showed a little bit of flashes of maybe some 1-2s. He got some good opportunities. I don't trust Ugarte. He kind of like Fred, if you remember Fred. In like on the ball in his own half, Fred was such a liability. Christian Eriksen, another one, liability on the ball under pressure in his own half. I love Christian Eriksen. I don't have a problem with Fred, but they're not the people I want when you're facing a very pressing
can't dilly-dally
opposition.
on the ball.
Yeah, Fred gave away the ball so much in his own half. Christian Eriksen too. That goal against, was that Spurs or FC20? I don't remember now, when Eriksen just got completely just shrugged off it, miscontrolled the touch, and it just led to
both, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was not great.
No.
So with Baleba, it depends on the price. For me, obviously, I'm not keen. I wasn't ever keen on 100 million. I was not keen on 75 million. His form obviously took a nosedive this season. He's forcing the move, it sounds like, if this rumor is to be believed. Played like half the minute. So again, there's no way.
Do we know what his contract is, Sean? Off the top of my head, I don't know if you've got access to it. All I'm thinking is, I'll carry on talking. The 65, I'd be in around the 65. I'm almost prepared to go to 70, but it would have to be on our terms.
You have to be massive
like add-ons, terms, longevity. They can have a sell-on clause if they want. All these little bits and bobs. It'd have to be a full Christmas tree of decorations. But the number, like we've said before, is kind of irrelevant. It's what the player brings, and at his age as well. I'm not unhappy about that number, because you're not paying that for, like, if we paid that for a Tillman's age player, he better be the greatest player to walk the face of the earth. Otherwise, you just never going to get anything back on that.
I think Baleba, if you can get him for a decent price, this could almost, even if he doesn't do well in 2 years, you could definitely flip him for a tidy profit. So he's just got 2 years left in his contract. He's only on 12.5K a week.
I see that.
Which,
how many boxes that ticks?
Even if you put that up to like 50, 60K a week, right? Yeah. That's absolutely nothing. Nothing.
No, nothing. So. And 2 years left. Brighton don't want it to get to a year to go, because he could dig his heels in. They get nothing. I think they'd take a deal around I reckon 60 or 70 with payments, right? Yeah. But like we've said a lot of times before, I think these tick a lot of Ineos boxes. The wages are a big thing for them, more than the actual money for the player, because the wages are the thing that drag us down. And if you look,
what I mean is he could be a very tidy profit. This could almost be like almost like a Chelsea kind of a thing, where you maybe sign him on a 5-year deal for 70 million, including add-ons, on like 50K a week. 2 years, you could sell him for more than you've paid for him on that first couple installments of money. You can make 30 million on this guy easily, if that's the case. I mean, I'm not saying that's the way you look at it going in. I'm just saying that could be the worst kind of case
scenario. Yeah, I mean, look, we paid. What did we vastly overpaid for the player? But like Ugarte was 52. So if you said 20 million more, and we could have, who had Baleba at the time, everybody would have gone, yes, please, straight away without blinking. So the player might have lost his head a little bit, but he's not the first player to be let down by a big club, drop his form a little bit, and go on move on later and come back a fantastic player. So
And
I
it's
would
and
have him.
again, given the fact that there was clearly something going on behind the scenes with him, that he wants the move, that he's pushing for the move, that he played fewer minutes and all that kind of stuff. Brighton definitely can't benchmark this and look at like an Elliot Anderson or a Fernandez and use
No,
those as examples, because you just can't. And again,
no,
the fact that he's actually pushing for the move helps. It would be nice if Fernandez would have done that, right? But not every
yeah,
player is going to do that. It just is what it
no,
is. We can't expect every player to do that. Some players do actually have a shred of respect for their parent clubs, and they're not going
of
to do
course,
that. I'm not bashing
absolutely,
players who do, right? I'm just saying some players don't want to do that. Harry Kane could have done
no,
that for years, and he didn't do that kind of stuff. So,
no, no. I completely agree. But yeah, I'd be happy with it. I really would.
what do you
So
guys think in the chat? How much would you be willing to do this deal for Carlos Baleba? What do you think he should be making a week? Is he even someone that you would want? We're going to talk about another midfielder who maybe could be more available, and some people would have you believe here in a second as well. But I want to know your thoughts on Baleba. We'll see. Again, his reps for kind of pushing this out there does put us in an advantageous position, but it's not often we say that, right?
well, no, I mean it's been a long time. I mean, I said it in the WhatsApp group. Was it yesterday or the day before? It's about time that luck went our way on the transfer merry-go-round for once.
Yeah.
You know,
We
evening,
kind of
Rick.
we kind of pushed our luck last year. I don't think
Yeah.
the kind of thing we got with Mbumo and Cunha and Shesko, I don't think that's going to happen again. I think that's kind of had its day in terms of players saying no to everyone else, as this summer has really proven. Not a whole lot of players
Absolutely.
are doing that. It's different with Anderson, because City were talking Anderson back in the winter. They had already
Yeah.
gotten super advanced in that, so it just is what it is. Plus, were we ever really going to offer Elliot Anderson 300K a week? No,
No
we're not
chance.
going to do
No,
that.
no.
Remake
Yeah,
says
yeah,
65 million pounds for Baleba.
yeah. Yeah, I'm around that. I'm happy with that. There'll be some add-ons. Also, we were saying that just there. Good point about his agents re-pushing it, and we were looking a year ago. We were clearly been talking to him and Brighton for longer than a year. We've also gone back and done that with Santos, apparently. So it is something where, just because it was a year ago doesn't mean we went back and did that with Edison. That was a year previous.
We did it
We
with
did it with
Dorgu.
Santos. That was a year
We were
previous. Dorgu, yeah.
yeah, we
So
were linked with
we've got
Dorgu the
form for doing
spring. The
it.
last spring Ten Hag was here is when the Dorgu links popped up. We didn't sign him till the end of January the following
I
season,
know.
and Ten Hag was already gone.
Yeah, you look like an Amorim signing.
Well, again, this
Yeah.
is what I'm saying. I think people need to maybe start to be open to accepting the fact that it's not going to be like who's manager in, like Jose's going to get his players. I don't think any else. It's not cost effective for clubs to do that anymore. You don't
Okay.
collect this first in class, best in class recruitment team to just buy whoever the manager wants. It's not necessarily how it works anymore. Big clubs just
No.
don't. That's not the way modern football clubs are run anymore. I'm not saying I like it. I'm not saying I agree with it 100%, because I do think the manager needs to have input. And I think the manager will have an input, but I don't think it's going to be the same as just Ferguson says, sign this player, let's go get him.
I
Managers
think you
aren't
have to
scouts.
earn an
They're
import.
not
No, you're
analysts.
right. Yeah.
Like,
You have
we
to
can't
earn your
listen to
import,
them.
though, don't you, Sean? You
Yeah.
have to earn it. If
Yeah.
if in 5 years Carrick's won 2 Champions League, a Champions League and 2 Premier Leagues, then you go, all right, Michael, who do you want? Then you can say to him, he's got a bit of skin in the game.
Yeah.
But no, you can't. When majority of clubs rotate their manager every couple of seasons or every 2 or 3, you've got to have a structure in your club that you bring a manager in that suits. You can't have it the other way around. You're constantly. We've done that since Fergie. We've rotated countless times, and it's been over a decade since we won anything. So
As much as Liverpool fans will argue, like, and some fans will, like, this is what Liverpool did even with Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp didn't come in and just dictate who he wanted to sign. Jurgen Klopp was part of the Liverpool, like, plan moving forward. He suited what they wanted to do. He didn't even want Mo Salah, if you guys remember. He wanted Julian Brandt. And so Liverpool were patient. They didn't get Virgil van Dijk right away. They ended up getting guys like Joel Matip, Ragnar Klavan, who a lot of people don't remember, on free transfers until they could go ahead and get Virgil van Dijk. And that's how Liverpool had a plan. They were I'm not trying to say we need to be like Liverpool. I'm just trying to use an example of what it looks like when clubs have a structure and a plan. I don't like it 100%, but it's just an example. Let me get involved in the chat here. Rickamank makes a good point. Baleba chose us when we finished 15th, he says. And that's a good factor to consider. Well done there. Well spotted there, Rickamank. You know, again, that kind of ticks that box of players who want to come to United. You know, we were down in
cheap
15.
wages.
Yeah.
Not the worst fee. Young. Ticks all the boxes for the position and ability. Like Rick said there. I mean, come on. I mean, just come on.
So again, it makes it. We're bigging him up. It makes him sound like he's my top choice. He's not. If all things being equal, I'm still getting Mamadou Sangare, and that's just the way it is.
Hell yeah. I'm trying to. I'm sort of speaking for Debasis again here until he turns up, because he would be screaming. Almost every other chat would be yes. He loves this player, and I know why. He's a great player. I think he's a great player.
It's not bad. I was a little disappointed in him this past season. Obviously, Baleba, but you know, I
picked up at the end though, Sean.
Yeah, I think what really did it for me was and this is what made me think this was more behind the scenes. He was like wanting to leave, was the fact that there were matches early on in the season last year where his teammates weren't even passing him the ball. Like, he was open, good positions, and it was like they just were kind of like, there was a little bit of teaching him a lesson kind of aspect to that, which I get, but
wasn't there some talk about he had some family issue at the same time as well, though? So it was a bit confusing. No, I don't know. But
family issues, I don't know. Big up Simon Kennedy. Welcome to the channel. So he lost. His mom died in 2023 before he got to Brighton, basically. So it takes a while. I mean, you're not going to get over that kind of stuff right away.
No, that could have been the anniversary of that or something, you know.
In April of 2023, that happened. So Simon says, if you're wondering why my pick is a pigeon, I race them. I can't even understand how one races pigeons right now.
Oh, loads of people do.
That's just completely derailed my whole mental train of thought here.
Big.
Now I can't not think about it.
Where does he do it? Where do you do that, Si?
That's interesting. Yeah, now I have to know more. We might have to do. You know, I've been toying around with the idea of starting a second channel in the future, and that is exactly the kind of thing that I would include in the second channel.
I can't read that. So it's a bit small, but I thought his picture was the pigeons. You know, that mine.
Oh, that is a little pigeon down there. Interesting. It's like right up against the screen. Interesting. Well, welcome. We're happy to have this. You might be the most unique person we've had in here. Big up, Rob. Always United. Big up, Rob. Good to see you again, my friend.
Evening, Robbie.
Keep getting in your thoughts on Baleba as we go, guys. How much do you think he would cost? How much would you pay him? How much would you pay for him? Would he even be your first choice?
I mean, he's coming in on less than Kobe's just been given, way less, I think. So I think you're Sean's right. Under 100 bags, he signs a 5+1 without blinking. Is he 23 just, or close to being 23? I think he's just so many boxes are ticked for us there. The wage structure, Jim must be loving. Exactly. So there you go. He's not even 23. I think he just ticks too many boxes. If there was a bet, if I could bet, in fact, when we walk past the bookies in the morning with the dog, I am going to look. What's the odds? Because I'm telling you now, I feel like this just ticks too many boxes not to be the one.
Well, we'll see. He's not. He definitely was still. He still wouldn't be my first choice, but I think that I would not put it past Ineos to come back in for this guy, like you were saying.
What you just said. Do you remember that? In a minute, when we talk about something else, I'm going to ask you that question again. Danny B in the house.
Pick up Danny. Simon's going 60 million. I'd probably go like 55, 60 plus add-ons if Baleba was somebody that maybe pushing it to 70 tops with add-ons included. And again, the transfer fee is not that big a deal. You guys know add-ons aren't huge. It's mostly the optics of it, because that will kind of define the transfer in terms of the fan base and the media and whatnot. It'll always be 70 million pound this kind of player. That's your identity as a player now, is basically your transfer fee. How long did we hear about it for Harry Maguire, for instance, and
of course,
Sancho and Anthony? They don't talk about anything other than these freaking players' transfer fees now.
I'd almost be willing to go a little bit higher of the transfer fee or the add-ons, just because the amount we're saving on wages. Like, that is something really needs to be taken into consideration, because wages are the main thing that United pay out a year more than anything else. anything else.
It's nuts.
So
It's absolutely
it's
nuts.
millions and millions and tens, if not hundreds of millions.
And like I
So
said, he's only on 12.5K a week at the moment at
that's a
Brighton. So
joke.
even
That
if you
is so,
gave
well, it's
him
not, but
quadruple
it is.
that, you're looking at 50K a week for this guy.
Yeah.
And then you can only go up
I'd,
from there. You can sell him
exactly.
for crazy profit in 2 years if it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And even if 2 years he does well, you can give him a raise to even double that, and he's only on 100K a week. And like again, this is how you should do it when you're signing these lesser known young players who are not on. You don't need, there's no
Absolutely.
reason to give Anthony the wages we gave him. There's no reason for
No.
Barcelona to pay the players how much they pay them. Like, it's Barcelona, it's Real Madrid. Players will play for you for free. Like,
Yeah.
this is not a
Exactly.
big deal. So,
So
all right.
what's the chat generally saying? 65 then to 70?
60,
As
I've seen
Danny, as
some
Danny said.
60s. I've seen 65 up there as well. Danny's talking about dogs.
Of course he is. He's dags.
Dags. You like dags? I like
See me
dags.
dags.
If you know, you know. Classic movie, one of my favorite movies.
It's brilliant. What do you talk about, dog? Would you like to buy one?
Yeah, right.
There he is.
Right.
Security.
Big up, Rob. Hope you're doing well, man. All right, let's move on to another midfielder because
United.
the Tchouameni rumor train is rumbling on. This time it's fueled by some Spanish outlets. So I had to do a bit of research on this one. You guys know, first and foremost, before I talk about a whole lot of these outlets, I have to do the research, especially if I'm not familiar with the source. So this is coming from what I found, reputable Spanish journalist Anton Miena, who was speaking with outlets El Larguero, another Spanish kind of broadcast thing. He stated that he would not rule out Man United seriously going after Tchouameni. And I'm going to paint the picture here on all this while we're going to talk about it today. So again, we got reports that Tchouameni and Real Madrid had verbally agreed to a new contract that reportedly would run to 2031. Now I say reports because nothing's been announced yet. No one's said anything. Usually when a player signs a new contract, you get the photo, you get the player sitting at the table with the clipboard and the fake piece of paper and the pen and all this kind of stuff, or holding up a jersey with the 2031 on the back of it or something. That's usually what you're going to get. But nothing has been announced. Again, this is all just reportedly that he's agreed to it. I've read wages are reportedly only around 210K a week. I think you had posted in the WhatsApp group, Ian, which I didn't know. Again, I don't know much. I don't follow Spanish football. I know they have crazy release clauses because you have to in Spain. You would put something in there about the taxes. Now, explain to the chat what you were talking about there.
Basically, in Spain, their tax is stupid high. So the player that's earning these crazy monies, they want to take home 200, 300 grand a week. Well, they go, oh yeah, I'll agree 250 grand a week. But what they wouldn't realise is that more than 100 grand of that is gone in tax.
Yeah.
Right. So when you say 250 and he's reported 400 or 350 grand a week, that is what Real Madrid are paying, 350 grand a week, because he won't pay his own tax. They pay the majority, especially the big clubs, have done it for a long time. So you take the tax off of the wages before you calculate what the player actually takes home, like what Sean said, a more realistic 240 grand a week. But from 400, if you do the Spanish and you do it in euros, their tax, it comes down to about 442,500 a week he'd take home from 400,000 euros.
Yeah.
So that is you have to take that into consideration. Have to.
Yeah. So anything lower than like 300K a week for Tchouameni, for instance, is you look at that almost on paper and think that's a steal, right? I mean, Casemiro was on 300K. Like, I'm not saying Tchouameni would even be my first choice, right? I think that the injury records aren't. I'm not. You guys know me. I don't like injury-prone players, especially recurring similar injuries, which is another reason why I wouldn't touch Camavinga with a 10-foot pole. Hamstrings are made of toilet paper for that kid. Salia would prefer Tchouameni, but since we're poor and cheap, he'll take Baleba, manage the expectations. Yeah. Well, you sound like a United fan, managing expectations.
Exactly, yeah.
Simon
The love
thinks
of them.
that because Madrid haven't announced it, he might not happen. Let's see.
One
Simon
thing I
actually
saw
like,
about that, Sean, as Simon's point, is it's not really a new contract, it's an extension.
yeah,
And they don't really have a big la-di-da about an extension. He is also still away on holiday. He hasn't been back yet.
yeah.
And what some people are hinting at now is that was all agreed pre-World Cup with him. Since the World Cup, Perez has decided to finally sign off on. He can't get Elise, so he's gone and got Diamonde and Rodri.
Well, yeah, and
Right?
that's the thing is a lot of talk going on that Real Madrid are back in for Rodri, which
Oh, it's
I think is nuts because you just
agreed
said
terms with him.
Yan Diamande, they're spending what 100 some on is the fee for
Yep.
Yan Diamande. Like that's nuts what Madrid have done. Cucurella, Dumfries was free, Bernardo Silva was free. Who else are they picking up? I can't remember now. It's not my club, so it doesn't really matter.
They've got a couple. They've got a couple of others, I'm
That's
sure. But
nuts.
they've made 100 million in player release resales and sales this year.
Who?
They've made
Madrid?
100. Yeah, Madrid have made 100 million euros
On
in
who?
selling players. Well, Nico Paz was 70 million euros.
Yeah, that's a cheap one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is what you say when you read it. That is what they pulled back in
Yeah,
in
that one
sales.
bugs me. That bugs me. We need to
But
start
I would
doing
agree
stuff
with
like
that.
that.
I agree. It's not right, but they do it, and they're allowed to do it over there. But
Yeah, we need to do that with VTech, for instance. Like sell them for like 10 million, put it in
Definitely.
buyback, and then whoever buys them say we're going to bring
Apparently,
it back.
Middlesbrough are talking to us about it, aren't they?
Yeah.
You see that? Yeah. But when it comes to Tchouameni, what I was seeing, what I heard was, I don't think he's interested in re-signing this contract now, because he might have been before. But if they get him Rodri, and Jose has
Yeah.
apparently said either, I don't mind. Neither of you are starting, which I think is so weird because he is Jose 101 to me. But there you go. If that's true, and they're talking, they want a contract extension so they can up the money. Imoni's got 2 years left on a deal.
Yeah.
So we're talking 70 to 80 million. But it will be Ineos putting their money where their mouth is, because they said for the right player with the right experience, with the right profile, they would go to the right money. Well, taking injuries aside, player for player, potential ability, he is top of the tree of everyone we've been linked with. The absolute top, right? So 300 grand a week and 80 million is what it's going to take. I'm not sure they're going to do it. It depends. This waiting game. Rodri is the domino that will topple it. But
I think, and I think that's the point that I was getting at earlier. I think that's the Rodri to Real Madrid. That's got to be. They can't have all that many midfielders. They can't have all these people on big wages. If you sign Rodri, he's going to be on big wages too. One of their midfielders, at least one of them, is going to be on. And Tchouameni plays the position that Rodri plays, and so you don't bring in a big money player like Rodri, your marquee player, while you've also got someone like Tchouameni on the bench. You're gonna play Rodri. Like it just is what it is. Price will be key, but again, a lot of people are thinking, oh, we didn't go big for Mateus Fernandez. We're not going to spend this much on Tchouameni. We will spend that much on certain players. We just won't. We won't spend more than what we think individual players are worth. Yeah. And Mateus Fernandez is not Tchouameni. No. He's just not. Like, it just is what it is.
Yeah. Also, Real Madrid are, for a club of insanity that they are not unrealistic. They won't just go, we want 80 million all up front. They're quite happy to take payments. They're West Ham shot at that because Spurs,
well, it won't matter if they get the payments because on paper, when you sell a player, you get to basically declare the full fee, and then, but then you don't actually do it when you're buying the player either. So they help out everybody. So when you're buying a player, you declare that first installment. When you sell a player, you get to declare the whole fee. And so that's how the regulations work.
I did see my brother said to me, he's like, maybe it's Jose doing some undercover work. He's going to remove Rodri from City and sell you Tchouameni. There you go. That'll hook you up.
We'll see. Danny says he's not doing deals like Casemiro. Is a Tchouameni deal like a Casemiro deal? He's 26, so he's not 29 or 30 like when Casemiro was. He probably, the wages probably will be somewhat similar. I don't imagine he'll be on as big wages as Casemiro has personally. But
It won't be over 3.
and yeah, there's a difference between giving a 29-year-old a 5-year contract on 300K a week than there is giving a 26-year-old a 5-year contract on
It'd be
300K a
31
week.
at
And
the
I
end
think,
of that.
yeah. So by the end of that, he'll be as old pretty much as Casemiro was when we signed him. And I think that's what Sir Jim is getting at. Like, you don't give a 29-year-old 5-year contract. That's insane. I would have given Casemiro a 3-year contract to
He
start.
probably wouldn't have come then, would he?
That's, hindsight's 2020. Casemiro had arguably one of his best seasons ever last year. So not just for us. I mean, in football, period, he had one of his best.
Yeah.
Razor
With
says
Danny,
he got
though, I
another.
wouldn't be doing a deal like that anymore. What Danny's saying,
Yeah.
the principle of it, I agree.
Yeah. So like you look at like Tielemans, almost same in terms of profile, right? Like age, but 35 million release clause, and he's not going
Perfect
to
for
be
that
on
money.
300K a week. So that to me, that's like when we got Eriksson. Like that's what that feels like.
Like 2.5 seasons, that's paid off, done.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Razor says he got another contract. I mean, he hasn't. We've seen reports that he's got another contract. We haven't actually seen anything announced yet, and so I'm curious to see what that means. But again, if we're looking at the stuff that's not even at Madrid at the moment, and that means Rodri. Like, what if they're going for Rodri? They've got Tchouameni, they've got Valverde, they've got Bellingham, they've got
Bernardo Silva, Camavinga.
Bernardo Silva, Camavinga. Somebody's got to go. Like,
Yeah,
they just have
100%.
to. Madrid will sell more players. I imagine someone like Brahim Diaz or Güler will probably be gone this year as well.
They announced the other day that Mastantano can go now. So they've announced.
What was the point of that?
Hendrick as well,
I
I
knew
think.
as soon as he got there, he wasn't going to play for them. Same with Odegaard. Like, there's no point. Like and I don't feel bad for these players too. By the way, who go to Madrid or Barcelona and never play. Like, you made your bed. You've got to lie in it now. This is a teachable moment for you.
Absolutely.
Don't chase the glory when you're 19 years old, 17 years old.
What I said a couple of weeks ago, I had respect for Hendrick when he went, "No, I'd rather go on loan. I want to play."
Yeah.
At least he made a bit of a mistake being young, but you can understand that. But he went, "No, I'm not playing. I want to play."
Yeah, that's what's best for you, because you go to Madrid, you never play, and then everyone calls you a flop. Well, they never played him. Like, what are you gonna do?
Exactly.
So players have to play. You can't call them a flop if they never play. Shanta says there was definitely a fight. Yeah, we remember that. It could be the reason. Who knows? I know the press were happy to say that one of the two players is going to have to go. I think that players. I mean, how many people have ever been in a fight with somebody that they're close to, that they work with, that they're on a team with? How many people, for a show of hands, and did it permanently? How many of those fights permanently fractured those relationships?
Of course.
Also,
how many times back in the season, like when we were, like, say, the '99 season with the treble, how many times do you reckon it kicked off in our dressing room?
Oh yeah.
It.
Now again, this is a bit out there because Valverde had to go to the hospital. But I got into a fist fight with my best friend. Like when I was 13, 14 years old, we were playing street hockey, and he was playing goalie, and I kept hitting him on purpose with the puck, and he got mad at me, and we started fighting, and then a week later we were fine. Like, it happens. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think price will be key. Honestly, if Madrid need money, can we also just go get Alvaro and bring him back to Old Trafford, please? If we're looking for left backs, I think
can't speak about that. It still hurts too much.
I want a left back so bad. That's one thing I'm really disappointed with Ten Hag, especially coming from Ajax. The way that club is built around youth and stuff. I wish Ten Hag would have rolled the dice on Alvaro instead of an emergency loan for Reguilon or something. Like, that just bugs me.
It's a shame that it's you don't want to wish injury, but you almost wish Alvaro had got a Rashford bit of luck, where a few of the players just ahead of him at the last minute got injured, and he had to play him.
We literally had that. We had Shaw and Malacia were both injured, and the club decided to do an emergency loan for Reguilon. We were playing Amrabat at left back. Now Alvaro was a bit younger, and he was out on loan, but I think you just roll the dice. I don't know what's going to happen with him at Madrid. They just signed Cucurella as well. Do they still have Ferland Mendy at that club? They sold Fran Garcia too, so it's just.
I can't believe. I still can't believe that price. That price will forever hurt, especially in a window where we need one. Price. Yeah, because he was, like I said in my rebuild, he wasn't signing that contract. He's free in January. He would have been free.
He would have been free in the summer. He could have signed a pre-contract.
Well, free for us in January.
but you
Yeah.
could have definitely gotten double. You could have gotten at least 10, 12 million for
Yeah.
Fran Garcia.
I mean, I'd have been happy with paying 10. I'd have been happy even if I found out that Betis were paying 3 and we hijacked and paid 10. I'd still be happy with that. I don't, because nah, I can't. Move on.
Simon would go for Jed Spence. I think a lot of people are looking at that World Cup
Pricey.
performance. I mean, it's interesting because Spurs are another one. They've signed Andrew Robertson. Is Spence even going to play? Spence, kind of like Nico Williams, who we were linked with a couple weeks back, can play both sides. Spence is actually naturally a right back. He's just been playing left back at Spurs because there's Pedro Porro, and you're not getting in ahead of Pedro Porro, unfortunately.
No.
So Spence could be playing a right. If I would sell Dallo and get Spence at right back, and I'd still go get a left back, and I think that would be tops. But
yeah, I'd be happy with that. I think it'd be pricey though. I think Spurs will want a bit of money.
Yeah, and that's why there's other options out there. I think but who knows?
Joaquin says.
Like, what'd you say? Joaquin, yeah.
Joaquin says, yeah.
You guys know I'm a big Joaquin Says fan. You can see my scouting. I did a couple of videos several months back. I did 5 left backs to 5 right backs that I'd be looking at. So you guys go check out those videos if you get a second.
Rick said about Alvaro.
He says he doesn't think Mourinho likes Alvaro. I don't even know if Mourinho's seen enough of Alvaro. Mourinho's been there 2 weeks now.
He would have played against him at Benfica. No.
Again, I think we knew what was going to happen. Florentino Perez. People are like, these are Mourinho's targeting this. Mourinho wants this. Florentino Perez he runs Madrid. This just is what it is. It's shiny toy syndrome with Florentino Perez every single summer. He's just got to have the best. I think they've done a really good job this summer at Madrid of identifying some free signings. They do tend to get free signings though. Rudiger was free, Alaba was free, so they do tend. I don't think Madrid have as much money as people think, but at the same time, they're going absolutely turbo this summer. So what the hell do I know?
They've got it where they find it. Just makes a call to His Royal Highness, and the bank balance goes back up.
Yeah, and even if they sell one player, if they sold Guler or Brahim or Mastantuono or something, that would help them out a little bit. But
there's a really good book there. I think it's called Under Royal Decree or something like that in Spanish, and it's about the sheer hypocrisy in that country of because the King of Spain and his family had always been Madrid.
Yeah,
they say that he changed rules in that country. He's changed rules so that it works in their favour. Put it that way.
Yeah, there was a time where it's interesting. Similar to what I say about Chelsea and City, don't use Real Madrid or Barcelona as examples of how to do transfer business. Don't say, look at what these clubs are doing and why are we doing it.
It's not real.
It's not. They don't exist in reality. Look at Barcelona. I mean, how Barcelona are even able to field half the players in that squad on a daily basis is beyond me. Shanta says
legal
Lewis Hall.
loopholes.
Yeah, I like Lewis Hall. I really like him. Talking about Anthony Robinson from Fulham. All things being equal, Robinson is very good. He's just a bit injury prone, and he's a bit older now as well. He's 28 now.
28, 29, and also it should have been a few years ago was the key point to go and get Andy Robinson. A good thing about Lewis Hall, and we were saying about that, is I listened to the Athletic pod with Andy Mitten on it, and he did an article the other day saying about reiterating things to do with Tchouameni and United's plan and what it is and why we'd be prepared to wait. And he still keeps saying the same names over and over. This kid, Baleba, Lewis Hall, and then he says there's another name but I still can't say. And now that's a forward. So he's really certain. He's very sure.
Andy Mitten's busting out some weird math. I remember him saying there's a 5 to 10% chance Rashford's going to leave or stay. And then he's like, well, now I think there's an 80% chance he stays. You're not I don't know where you're getting these figures from, what kind of math you're doing. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it at all. Some weird algebra he's got going on. So I think what this summer has proved so far is that journos have absolutely no idea what is going on 100%. No. They just don't, because nobody was talking about Andre Santos or Tielemans a week before we ended up signing them. And so I think there was some heavy links day or two before we did it, and then we did it, and it was just that was it. And
Yeah.
Reminds me of the Donny Van de Beek signing that we did several years
Just
ago.
out of the blue.
Came out of nowhere. So we're
Do you know
doing a
what
decent
one
job of
shocked me
keeping
out of the
our
blue,
cards
just out of
liquid.
nowhere, was the Anderson and Nani double. I just literally picked up a
Yeah.
paper that morning because there was no social media really back then. And I just went, what? I was straight on the phone. I was like,
The return of Cristiano Ronaldo kind of came out of the blue as well. That was a little bit
City.
rumored a couple days ahead of time, and then boom, just kind of happened. I don't actually think City were informed, by the way, but
No.
I've seen conflicting reports on that.
Yeah, it worked in our favour to make everyone think we were, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
It made us look like we're not having that, which is good.
It's romantic, and I mean, honestly, football. If you can't be a little bit of a romantic with football, then I don't know if it's for you. That we do love a bit of the stories and the drama and the romanticism that come along with it.
I must admit, I was very, very pro us getting him and City not getting him, and also it would have really. He's one of those players that's so generational, so immense. If he'd have put that shirt on, it would have ruined so much. I don't care what other shirts he wore after that. He didn't wear another Premier League one.
Yeah,
He's our player.
I never thought that was going to happen.
Yeah, I'm just glad it didn't. I'd have paid anything just to not have him go City.
It was. I mean, I had high hopes. Comes back and gets a bags of brace against Newcastle on his return. Obviously, it all went a bit pear shaped the following season, but so he does leave a little bit of a stain on his legacy for me. But it is what it is at this point. You know what you're getting into. The guy's 41 now. It's absolutely nuts. Probably not going to get that World Cup that he was hoping for, that elusive trophy. But what are you going to do?
They should have got Jose and not Roberto Martinez. They should have just said to Jose, look, we know you're going to Madrid. Just come and win us the World Cup.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. And Ronaldo is literally, like, since he's become a striker, that's exactly the kind of striker that Jose wants. Just someone who's good in the air and just going to be clinical. Like, just give it to him.
Maybe they wouldn't have won it. But I'm convinced if they got Mourinho even the day before their first game, they would have got further.
That he's the kind of manager that's going to do great in international football. It's just he's at Madrid. We'll see how it goes. I mean, he's going to be absolute gold back in La Liga now. This is going to be nuts. Can't wait for the first couple run of bad results, and I'm going to be making some popcorn and just waiting for these pressers because it's going to be great.
That's the thing. Everyone's saying, "Oh, it's going to be." I was like, don't think that in a year's time this hasn't gone horribly wrong. Because if he doesn't win everything, he's gone.
The bigger question is which player is he going to throw under the bus right away? Is it going to be Mbappe? Is it going to be Vinny? There's so many possibilities there. Bellingham, Valverde. I've heard Valverde is not great. I've heard Valverde is one of the people who got Xabi Alonso sacked, basically. So we will see. And Jose is exactly the kind of manager you need at Madrid. Just again, an Ancelotti kind of type who's just he's the biggest personality in that dressing room, but he also leans a little on that very toxic kind of side of that, narcissistic kind of side of it.
I think the thing that's going to play out is the Mbappe. Mbappe thinks he's God there, and now he's about to come into a dressing room where he no longer can speak without permission.
It's going to be interesting to see who wins that fight, though. Who gets backed by the club? Is it going to be the asset, or is it going to be the manager?
It's going to be the asset.
Because he can't go anywhere except for the Saudi league. No one's gonna pay that. Like no.
Sean, when a 5 million fan petition doesn't even get a blink from the president, do you think Jose stands a chance?
Well, most clubs, we know. I mean, managers are usually the first to go, not the players. So
it's
going to be interesting to see how it goes. Shanta wants to know, and you guys let us know in the chat. Who do you prefer if we don't get Tchouameni? He wants Manu Kone. I think your last couple words are exactly why I don't want Manu Kone if he can stay fit. Manu Kone's got an injury record about as long as my leg. And he's not really. He's really a box-to-box kind of player, Manu Kone. He's not necessarily that. He's not that physical. He's press resistant. He can carry the ball a little. He reminds me a little bit more of Kabi than I think of someone like a Baleba. I would still go Mamadou Sangare. I think that he's absolutely perfect.
Sangare would be my pick. Out of the players we're linked with, I'd have Baleba.
Yeah, I put the poll in the chat. Let me see where this poll is. If you guys would want Tchouameni or Baleba. So far, we got 32 votes. Well done, you guys. Keep getting involved in the chat here.
Who are you picking
53%
between
of
them
you.
two, Sean?
Oh, who am I picking between those two? I probably go Baleba just before the. I think, even if nothing else, I think the thing that separates that is probably going to be resale value, but probably
Mm.
go Baleba because I think there's enough. Baleba's still young enough, I think, where we haven't. I don't think we've seen the best of him, and I think
No.
that there's way more to him than we've seen so far. So I think
Yeah.
that the possibility there, and again, he's not going to be the starter, so I think there's room to also take him out of the
Yeah.
spotlight now and then if needed as well.
I think it
But if you
also
can't
leaves.
handle the spotlight, then I don't know if you should be at United. So
That is true. That is very true. I also think it's a little bit. It gives you more wiggle room on a left back and a striker option. We go
yeah,
so big, so massive on Tchouameni and all those wages. That's another player gone
yeah.
that we can't get.
I'd still go Mamadou Sangare, but I'd probably go
Oh
Baleba
yes,
over those. But you guys keep getting votes in and keep letting us know. Keeping those like buttons hit for me too, and subscribe if you guys are new. I've seen a couple new faces. Make sure you subscribe, you guys. We are on the road to 5K now, so we're cruising. We're cruising, you guys. So keep that up. Make sure you hype and share as well. If you are watching on X,
yes,
please jump over and hit the like button and subscribe, please, for me. I do appreciate you watching though. So let's talk a little bit youngsters. Let's pivot from the first team to some of these youngsters that we've picked up. Because we're kind of adding, the academy is already stacked to the rafters with absolute future talent, right? And we just
Oh
keep
yeah.
adding more. So we picked up Teenan Thompson from Spurs, left winger, who I still think, as you and I were saying ahead of time going live, I think Teenan Thompson is closer to the first team than the academy. He's feels to me more like where Lacey is now, where Aiden Heaven is now. There's a United View. Flex sat down with a Spurs fan and talked about Teenan Thompson, and just go watch that if you can. It's a really good little video because obviously I don't know as much about him as a Spurs fan was, but it was really good, enlightening. But we've signed him, which I'm excited about. But we've also signed a couple of these youngsters as well, a couple of Man City players and a Liverpool player as well. So we've got David Eze as well. He's on the far left, a midfielder, can play from deep, but also can get forward. He's captained England's under-16s as well. So I'm excited about that one. Reportedly, Arsenal were in form, but he opted to join us. Again, a lot of that going around these days. People choosing other teams over Arsenal. Morgan Rogers. And in the middle is another midfielder named Karim Kassim. He's a bit more of an attack-minded midfielder than David Eze. He's 16 as well. He's also played in a couple of the under-18s matches, a couple of Youth Cup matches, FA Youth Cup, and he played in the under-18 final. So I like that as well. They're not on pro contracts yet. They're just 16. And then on the right, young Liverpool winger Isaac Conde, another 16-year-old. He's actually, again, played a couple matches with the under-18s. Good. He's pacey, a lot of acceleration as well. So we've got a couple of these youngsters. Any thoughts on these three while we're camped out on them here?
I mean, it looks good. I mean, it's obviously what we're trying to do now is clearly trying to develop young players, and they'll either come good or we'll sell them for a profit. And
Yeah.
I've got no problem with it whatsoever at all.
That's a part of what
a couple of them I've
does.
seen a little bit of. We're watching quite a bit of the under-18s last year. They look like good players. I haven't seen much more than glimpses, so
Yeah,
look like good players. Carry on, Sean. I'm getting wiped out. I'll be back in a sec.
go for it. So yeah, we've got these players. We spoke about them a little bit during ahead of the watch along the other day that we did for Rosenborg. But like I said, I haven't gotten your guys' thoughts. Not everyone is as thrilled, I think, with signing the youngsters. Not because they don't rate the youngsters. I think more United fans are just more concerned about strengthening the first team. I totally get it. I think that we can look at the two as separate issues. They're not necessarily connected. We're going to still be focusing on the academy. We also still are signing for the first team. Simon says Ineos are signing academy players. Yeah, and that's part of what the academy is. Not every player in the academy is going to make it into the first team. We've probably sold. I know we've sold hundreds more academy players than we've actually promoted, and that's not because we're bad at it. It's because there are levels to this. Just in Premier League football alone, let alone United, there are levels to being good enough for the first team, and that's just the way it is. Rob says Danny Welbeck to Chelsea. Yeah, I saw that from David Ornstein. We'll see what I mean. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the fan base here because I don't want to feel like I'm bashing. I'm not bashing the fan base. I think I'm bashing football Twitter is what I'm bashing. But the amount of people who every single time another club signs a player randomly like that put out like if Ineos were serious, if we were a serious club, we would have done this. We can't let them like. Why are we freaking out about Danny Welbeck going to Chelsea? I don't get it personally. I like Danny Welbeck, and I have anything personal, but we can't sign every single player that another club signs. And if we don't sign them, that doesn't mean we're not a serious club. That's just not. Think about like when you repeat it to yourself out loud, you realize how foolish it sounds sometimes to say that. Like it's just not going to work. I'm sorry if we don't sign everyone's favorite player. I felt the same way about Arden Yashari, for instance, but it doesn't mean that we're just having a shit transfer window. Yeah. Like it's interesting stuff.
We didn't get two of my players
coming
this
at
window.
you, Rob. I'm just saying. Welcome back, Ian.
Just got to interrupt. I'm going to have to shoot in a minute if the wife can't get it out of her car because my boy's got a puncher and left his spare tyre here. Like a genius. Dear. Give it a minute. But if I get waved again, I have to go and I won't be back.
No, you're good. Simon used to go and watch United train at the Cliff. Well done.
Nice.
Well done, nice. So those three players.
Holy turf.
Yeah, I'm excited. If you guys wanna support the Cliff, Simon, you can go check out the United vs. Everybody store. I do have a class of '92 Cliff design in the store. Everything is 20% off, but that does end today. The 20% off sale. There is a link pinned in the chat if you want to go check out some of the gear in the store. So, but big up. And then we also did announce another youngster signing today. They announced the signing of 20-year-old goalkeeper Kit Margetson. We did speak about this, I feel like 2 or 3 weeks ago now when the links first started up. He's Welsh, plays, I think he's at Swansea, but spent last season on loan as well. A lot of youngsters. Part of me wonders, like, when Barada talked about Project 2020, I feel like maybe he misspoke and meant Project 2038 because a lot of these players aren't going to be ready for another decade. So it's interesting. So, but that's 4 youngsters that we've signed in the last week alone. Some of them poached from rivals. So this one poached from Swansea, who I don't remember anything about from Swansea except when they like beat us the first match of the season under Louis van Gaal, I believe. There was a lot of that going around back then.
Shocker.
Oh, we got some trolls in the chat. Well, hey, I'm glad that Liverpool fans have nothing better to do than to come and do a United fan channel. It's awesome. Well done. You can troll all you want to. If you start spamming, though, if you start being disrespectful, you are going to have to get kicked out, my friend. So, but hey, thanks for the view. That always makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
Sorry, I wasn't even listening to it. I didn't even hear. I did.
No, you're good. So, sticking with youngsters, after an uneventful loan at Lausanne Sports, Sekou Kone looks like he's going to be heading there on loan for the upcoming season, which I just don't get, honestly.
No.
I'm happy to utilize the multi-club ownership. I think that's fine. I don't like multi-club ownership, but I'm happy to utilize it if we have it. But he barely played on loan last season. So unless something's changed, if they've changed their manager or something, I would have preferred him to maybe go someplace where he'd actually play. If you wanted to hear more about how his loan went, along with Enzo Kanabayek, who is also a United Academy player on loan, go check out my loan watch video. You can also check out the under 18s and the under 21s watch video. They all are in the description as well, so go check those out. What were you saying?
I'd rather him have not gone there and gone somewhere else, but like you said, it must be a change of something. He's had more of a promise, or I kind of almost just, like a little bit sort of see the good in it because he's like, well, I'm not put off. Yeah. I'll prove to you that I am good enough, and that is a good thing for a youngster to have. You know, like get knocked down, pick yourself back up, and go back at it harder and harder. And you know, if that's his mentality, that says that to me. We'll see. Hopefully, it works out for him.
Hope so. I had high hopes for him, and then he got that bad injury early on last season, elbow to the eye, I think fractured eye socket, and he was down until like November, I think, which we'll see. Technically, it was a trial at Lausanne, but we'll see how it goes.
You know, that's also a dodgy way around your visa.
Yeah.
because we couldn't loan him to an English club here because he actually wouldn't qualify for a visa. So he would have to be out and then loaned straight back out.
Yeah.
That's why.
Laws. What are you going to do?
Crazy.
Nathan Salt reports that Kilmarnock have also expressed interest in taking Tyler Fletcher on loan, which I think would be really good. I think I haven't been 100%. I haven't been as impressed with the Fletchers when I've seen them play as I have with some of the other youngsters. Even in these preseasons, I thought that, yeah, they just looked a little lost at times. Again, it's preseason, so I'm not going to worry about too much. They played a lot under Amram, I believe, at least a lot. I mean, they played like a half here and there, so there is that, but probably need to go ahead and play. But the problem is, Nathan Salt also reports that Fletcher wants to stay and fight for his place. I think a loan's probably going to be best for him. I think he's one who almost looks a little too good for the under 21s, but just definitely nowhere near the first team.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. All right. Okay, sorry guys, I'm gonna have to go and rescue an idiot. But don't worry, I will point out how much of an idiot he is.
Ian's dipping out. Well, thank you, my friend. We got a little bit more to cover, so you guys stick around. Take care, Ian.
Good Remember, smash the like button, you absolute legends, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Appreciate it, my friend. Take it easy. So Ian's dipping out. You guys just get me for the time being. It's old school. It's the way it used to be. I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. So, again, though, it's about minutes for these youngsters. They need to go and get minutes, and that's what bugs me sometimes with some of these loans. Is not they don't always get minutes, and so that's going to be important. So, and then lastly with the youngsters, reports that Middlesbrough are interested in taking Radek Vitek, buying him, not on loan, buying him. I don't know how you guys feel about that. He obviously started against Rosenborg, came on against Wrexham as a sub. I like Vitek. If you guys have been following the channel since we've been around, I like him a lot. We gave a lot of regular updates on his loan when he was at BW Linz. Obviously, we spoke a lot about him at Bristol last year on loan. He was absolutely stellar for Bristol. He's excellent keeper. Some people will say, well, championships keepers don't sell for much more. He's not a championship keeper. He's a United keeper, and he's been one of the best players in the championship last season. So a lot of you are saying if we sell him, we need to put a buyback clause. I agree, because maybe we can do a little bit of what of what Madrid are doing with some of these players. Maybe we can buy him back technically and then sell him back to the club where he's from, like Madrid did with Nico Paz, which I think is a grimy dick move. But at the same time, if it's a dick move that lands you like 20-30 million for VTech a couple years down the line, then we absolutely need to exercise it, because right now we're all about that paper. But like Danny says, I think he's too good for the championship. Vitek could probably go start someplace in the Eredivisie, do very, very well. I think he could probably start at some Bundesliga clubs, do very, very well. He could probably start for some Premier League clubs, honestly, and do very well for himself as well. I think he's that good, Vitek. He's, 21, 22 now, older than De Gea was when we signed De Gea, and De Gea was our starting keeper. And Vitek's very, very good. Big guy, 6.5 foot, I think. But he's quick to come off his line, really good reflexes, knows how to make himself big coming out, made some really good stops recently against Rosenborg, whatnot. I like Vitek a lot. In a different world, he might be the one we start with. If we'd signed Emi Martinez instead of Stena Lamens a year ago, who knows? Maybe Vitek sticks around and becomes our starting keeper after Emi Martinez gets a little too old. Who knows? I'm happy with Stena Lamens, though. But obviously, when you sign Stena Lamens, the writing's kind of on the wall. But if we're going to sell him, do it now. His value is going to be the highest it's going to be. If we let him rot on the bench, it's not. He's going to drop in value. But let's see. Cam says we sign it back. We've already signed one. We've got Carl Darlow on a free. Dermot Mee signed a new contract as well. Tom Heaton's got an extension. So we've got plenty of keepers. Plus, we just signed this young kid, this 20-year-old as well, who he's 20. He's not exactly a youngster, but as far as keepers go, he's nowhere near his prime. So it is what it is. Simon likes the chill of my channel. Appreciate that. You're not, it's going to sound like a flex or a brag. It's not, but you're not the first person to say that. If my channel is chill, it's because you guys keep it chill. I appreciate that. But I do, as you can see, we are pretty laid back. We don't take ourselves too seriously. I might be a bit boring because I don't rage and whine when I don't get what I want as a content creator, as a United fan, like some people do. I'm not going to name them because I don't like doing that. But I'm pretty chill, but I appreciate that. I really do. Jatinder, welcome. 10 peeps watching. Yeah, I don't know how many people we've got watching at the moment. Keep hitting that like button though, guys. Keep smashing the subscribe button if you're new as well. Appreciate all that. Moving on, let's talk about Rosenborg while we're on that topic, because we did do the watch along for that on Friday. If you guys were here, we did a watch along for Wrexham too. I might be able to do one this weekend. I think we play Atletico Madrid this weekend. So if you want to do a watch along for that, if you're interested in that, let me know in the chat, and we can come back and do another watch along for that. But on the youngsters, it was again against Rosenborg. It was another academy player day. They kind of carried us a bit. First teamers they're looking like first teamers who know that these are dead rubber matches, so they just don't care. But the youngsters have been carrying this, and again, it's preseason. I don't care that much, but it is a good way to get a look at some of these youngsters, look at some of these tactics, and see who might be ready, who might be not, and whatnot. And it's a good opportunity for Carrick to, as he and Ineos and whoever are continually having these meetings and whatnot during the window, to keep updating Ineos on who looks good, who doesn't, kind of thing. But we did win 5-0 in Trondheim. 4 Academy stars on the score sheet as well. Shea Lacey opened the scoring with a beautiful, beautiful goal. Brilliant pass from Joshua Zirkzee to find him as well. Really good ball from Zirkzee. But then Lacey did a lot of the hard work in kind of cutting onto his left and putting that shot far post. Beautifully curled shot, by the way. And that's Lacey's bread and butter, honestly, is cutting onto his left. Problem is we have 2 other first-team wingers ahead of him in the pecking order who do the exact same thing. And so I'm not sure what this right-wing situation is going to look like. But I do like the look of Lacey. Fresh off that, though, the assist, Joshua Zirkzee actually also got his own goal with a bit of filthy techers. I'll put this on the screen for you guys so you guys can see this. This was the angle from United, but this thing was an absolute thing of beauty. Look at this thing. Boop, curls, sends a defender off to the stands. Oop, curls, sends a keeper off to the stands, and then just pokes it in. We'll watch it again, because maybe they'll show it another angle, because that thing was absolutely silk. Watch it one more time. Ball, fake, yep, there it goes. Another fake, yep, I'm going to roll it back this way, and I'm just going to poke it home. That was actually filthy. Like, absolute filth from Zirk. There's no reason for him to do it. But the thing is, we know that Zirkzee has that in his locker. We know that he's done. As far as what Zirkzee brings to the table as a player, Techers is probably his best attribute. We've seen him do this many, many times. The problem with Zirkzee is he's not a good goal scorer in terms of just volume of shots, volume of goals. He doesn't use his size very well. He's not super fast. And I don't necessarily care about being quick. It's not my top priority, but you have to do something. If you're a backup striker, you have to score goals, and I just don't see that enough from Zirkzee. But give credit where it's due. That goal was absolutely filth. Jacob Devaney grabbed our third from a corner. You guys know how much I like Devaney. I don't like that he's being played as a center back in this preseason. Both times he's been on the pitch, he's been played center back. He's a midfielder. Play him as a midfielder, and you'll get the best out of him. But needs must at this moment in time. I didn't like it, but he still managed to get one off the corner. Ball just kind of fell to him, and he just lashed it into the roof of the net. So it is what it is. Right place, right time is a very underrated skill. Harry Amos linked up with Jaden Camison, 2 of really promising young fullbacks in the academy, to put away another one for our 4th. It was a low fizz ball from Camison, drove that right across the face of goal. Amos came in lunging, poked it in. And then Ethan Williams got our 5th to make it 5-0. Another player who I probably don't think is long for this club, honestly. I think a player a lot of people forgot about. I think he was at Falkirk on loan last season. Go check out my loan watch video if you want to learn a little bit more about Williams. He's probably, same with Scanlon, I think. I just don't think these guys are going to be part of it in the future, which doesn't mean they're bad. It's just, it is what it is. But overall, I thought, and you guys can let me know how you think, I thought in this game, obviously, we looked a little fitter. We looked a little sharper than we did against Wrexham. Obviously, Wrexham had already played a couple matches before they got to us. That was our first preseason. Rosenborg were actually well into their domestic season by 2 or 3 matches, and I think they'd also played another friendly ahead of this one. So match fit wise, they were up for it, but I think we're just even a half fit United squad's probably a little better than Rosenborg. But again, I thought we were fitter, sharper. I'm happy to see the progress there. Need a few more World Cup players in the squad to come trickling back in. It looks like Ahmad and Bayindir are back in now. Ahmad's back at Carrington, so hopefully we get him back on here, get him back to fitness and whatnot. So let me see what you guys are saying in the chat here, you guys. Cam likes the new tactics. Yeah, Carrick is not as English, I guess, stereotypical English as some people might have thought. He is more Spanish influenced. Again, you can go look at a couple of videos I put out way back when. Carrick gets a lot of his cues from like Xavi's Barcelona side and stuff. So a lot of triangles, a lot of use of space. You could see it, and this is why I do think Dorgu is going to be seen as a winger. Dorgu, these wingers were constantly dropping in centrally, looking to get involved in this link up, using the strikers as a hold up. Xerxes, Cheeto laid it off. Dorgu making these central runs and continuing the runs and things. We're seeing a lot of interchanging from wingers to central positions and vice versa. A lot of use of that space as well. I think that's the kind of the key you're going to see from Carrick is space, creation of space, exploitation of space, utilization of space, and that's very Spanish influence. We saw a little bit at Middlesbrough. We saw a little bit during his first spell as our interim boss, and we saw a little bit of it last year as well. Triangles, space, a lot of movement, exploiting that, and so I think you're going to see a lot of that. So Kerwin says generally one of the most difficult polls, or it's based on the rumors that we're talking about earlier, the two midfielders that we've been heavily linked with. So keep getting involved in the chat. Where's that up to so far? It's still closer than I thought, but most of you are still going with Tchouameni. So keep getting involved in there. Simon's a true red since the 1970s. Big up, Simon. Well done. Good to see the old heads in here, man. I appreciate that. Obviously I'm 40, so obviously not been watching as long. I wasn't even born back then, so it's what it is. But yes, Shea is a very good talent. I do like Lacey a lot. Remember, he got some first team minutes last year. Got himself suspended for getting a second yellow as well, and then he had some personal stuff going on, so he took a little time away there. I think he got an injury too. Cam says Lacey quality is better, close control. Yeah, Lacey is going to be very, very good. Very, very good. Cam says Xerxes is a cross between Berbatov, RVP. Interesting. Xerxes got good techers. He's just, I don't see much else that he offers. He's massive. He's not very strong. He doesn't use his size to win a lot of headers. His finishing is, to me, not great. I think since he's been here, he's scored, 6 or 7 goals in all competitions since he's... It's just not good enough, in my opinion. Xerxes, to me, seems like a very system-specific kind of attacker. Let him go to a club that's going to use him the way that he's probably best used. But you can't... I don't think you can trust him when you need goals because I just don't see it in there as well. So, let's see. Ian's back in the house with a super chat. Well done, Ian. Had to duck out. No worries, my friend. You do get one of these for the super chat, though. No worries, my friend. Family comes first. But he also gifted a membership. Big up, Ian. Big up, man. Well done. Absolute legend, Ian. And who got that? Ryan got himself a gifted membership. You guys remember, memberships are the best way to get involved in the content on the channel. It's not just badges and emojis. I do want to get you guys involved. So we have a WhatsApp group for Starting 11 and the Legends members. There's a link to that posted in a members only post in the community section. If you want to join the membership, you want to join the WhatsApp group, awesome. But just don't share the link and don't be a dick because I don't want to have to close it down and start a brand new one. So just keep that in mind, because just because the stream ends doesn't mean the conversation has to. There's a lot of stuff being talked about in the WhatsApp group. Well, Starting 11 and Legends members can also get involved in the scouting reports. I do scouting reports every other week or so. I just did a big top 21 under 21 video last week. A lot of any player that's 20 years old and under, there's 21 of them. I went through that, but Starting 11 Legends members do get a say. So if you have a player that you like, that you think is a hidden gem or something that you want to see a scouting report on, you get a chance to do that as a Starting 11 and Legend member. And Legends members, you guys are the OGs. You get early access to exclusive videos like the Andre Santos deep dive I did, like the Mamadou Sangari deep dive I did, like some of the Carrick videos, the loan videos, all that stuff. You guys get access to that before anyone else, as a big thank you for supporting the channel in that way. So big up, you guys. Gave me an opportunity to lay out all how the memberships work. So Rob says, we crushed Rosenborg. We'll do the same to the Scousers. I mean, I hope we always do that to the Scousers no matter what. Last year was a pretty good year for playing Liverpool. I'm not going to lie. We actually destroyed them, so I'm very, very happy with that. Always nice to beat Liverpool. I mean, it is what it is. That's proper rivalry. You know, if you can't get up for rivalries against like Leeds and the Scousers and Arsenal, then like football's not for you. I don't consider City or Chelsea rivals, by the way, in case you're wondering. If your club didn't exist until what 12, 13 years ago for Man City, like I don't really care. They're basically the RB Leipzig of the Premier League as far as I'm concerned. Sorry if you're a City fan and that offends you, but if you're a City fan, what are you doing here? I get because there's no City channels. That's why. It is what it is. I'm just getting caught up on the chat. Simon says hopefully Dorgu on the attack again. I only look at what I see, and what I've seen so far since Dorgu's been here, especially under Carrick, is that Carrick sees him as an attacker. He sees him as a winger. Dylan and I were at Old Trafford in Newcastle, and we played him on the right wing, and he came in and scored that winner. Brilliant goal, by the way. I think that was Ian's pick for goal of the season. Carrick's had him as an attacker as well. We'll see. The interesting thing to see what will happen when Cunha is back fit, because Cunha is our left winger. Like that's just is what it is. That's where he's going to start. So does Dorgu play left back? Does Dorgu kind of play right wing as well? Dorgu, sometimes it's a bit of a hindrance if you're so versatile as a player, because then you're kind of seen as this utility player, like someone like John O'Shea or like a Daily Blind or something. You're just like, oh well, someone's injured, we just need you to fill in here, kind of. I think Dorgu needs to figure out where the club needs to figure out where Dorgu's best at, because that's where he's going to be. So is he left back? Is he a winger? Obviously, too, we're going to have a lot of games next season. There's going to be rotation options, minutes for everybody. So I'm not concerned. I'm not panicking. But I think that could also have, it's just going to have an impact on where we decide to strengthen on that left-hand side. Are we going to go for a left back? Are we going to go for a winger? If you ask me right now, I would say left back based on what I've seen from Dorgu and where Cunha plays and the fact that Luke Shaw is older. I don't think Amos is quite ready yet. It just is what it is. So I would definitely go and get a left back personally. But you guys let me know in the chats. So let's see. You guys are funny. Simon wants to know, why do you support United? I support United because I've been playing. I started playing when I was really young, 4 or 5 years old. Little travel club, little clubs here and there. But this is my first kit, my first shirt that I got. My dad got me this when I was. When did he get that? That would have been 8 or 9. My dad doesn't know anything about sport. He's on business. Brought this back because he knows I'm a huge football fan. And you got to remember too, in the States, you couldn't watch any of this until probably the early to mid 2000s when we finally got like access to it on cable. And then about 12 years ago when we started getting streaming apps like Peacock, and then we could really, really dive into it. So up until when I was young, I'd have to wait till the end of the season to watch these games. And I would get a big VHS set. You guys remember those, the VHS sets where you can watch the season review, basically. That's how I got to watch it. But like I said, I've been playing since I was a kid. I played up until high school. I still kick around. I just kicked around on Friday because it was so nice. But obviously I'm older now, so let's just say my days of buying new boots are older. But support United because I was given this. I don't know any better when you're a kid, but that's my club now. It's been my club now for more than 30 years. And it will be my club as long as I've gotten to go to several matches. A long, long time, starting 4 or 5 years ago. So I've been to 8 matches at Old Trafford now, a couple of Salford matches, an FA Youth Cup match. Got to go to a Champions League game at Old Trafford, which is nice. Europa League game against Real Betis was my first match. And that was obviously 4 or 5 years ago. But we'll try to go again this year. Got a lot of people who want to go, so we'll see how it goes. It's always hard when you're traveling with a group. It's hard to get everybody coordinated. But yeah, it's a good question. Let us know in the chat, why you guys support United, when you started supporting them and stuff. If you had a favorite player or a favorite match or something, let us know. But let's talk a little bit about fake news, because I'm seeing a lot of stuff going around on the internet. Football Twitter is ridiculous, dramatic, childish. We're going to talk about that as well. Let's talk about fake news, because we talked about earlier that there are some fake David Ornstein accounts that people just keep tagging. They're not real. If it sounds ridiculous, it probably is. Look at the @ not the name. There's the name, like the handle, then there's the @. Look at the @. That's how you can tell it. So on that, I'm not going to entertain all this Ollie Watkins stuff that's popping out. A lot of people retweeting them because, again, fake accounts. People are retweeting this Ollie Watkins Reuter saying it's from Sky Sports. It's not from Sky Sports. It's from Sky Sport, which is not a real account. If you click on the @ you'll find that the account is suspended, probably because it was impersonating Sky Sports, pretending to have rumors. Again, people are just posting nonsense. They're tagging random sources to make it seem like legit. And then loads of people just buy into it. They retweet it, and it snowballs from there, and suddenly everybody's talking about it. You just keep a lookout for that kind of stuff. It's not a thing. Speaking of, I'm also seeing people retweeting this nonsense about this random Porto winger, Oscar Pedajewski. Again, complete nothing story there. Again, follow, and this brings me to the other point. You guys know I've said this many times. You have to follow the links. You can't just read the tweet and think, oh, it came from this source like Ekrem. First of all, Ekrem Kuner, not a great source, but click on the link. Find out where Ekrem Kuner wrote it. Okay, follow his article. What does his article say? Well, according to this, we'll click on the link in that article. You keep doing that, it's going to take you to the original source. And the original source is not even a good one. I think it's like Football Dakin or something is the name of Dakin or something is the original source of this one. And all it says is it's an article about the reported interest in this winger from Dortmund, but then it just goes on to say, surely United and a bunch of other big clubs have this player on their list. That's the entirety of the link, is surely United are going to have, like, it's just insane, the kind of stuff. But everyone's retweeting it, and everyone's retweeting it, and it just gains steam. And then before you know it, major United accounts are posting it, and before you know it, people are doing videos on it and stuff. Like, what does he offer United? And it just is ridiculous. You have to go and do a little bit of work. I know it's hard. You have to go do the work and find the original source and and look at the language being used. I just laid out the language being used, and it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. So it is what it is. It's just weird. Yeah, I mean, Kim Min-jae. You guys remember we linked to Kim Min-jae and he went to Bayern? I mean, it's nuts, dude. It's absolutely nuts, dude. Simon's short walk from where I grew up. Nice. Yeah, I love Manchester. I love going to Manchester. I'm always looking for new places to eat, good restaurants, looking for good fish and chips. If anyone's got their favorites, let me know. But I love going. I love it. When we go, we get an Airbnb right down the road from the stadium, so right by the cricket ground. And I love it. I can't say it enough. I love going to Manchester. I would live there if I could. Maybe not downtown, because I don't do well living in downtowns. I can hang out downtown. I don't want to live downtown, but maybe someplace like Sale or Eccles or something. I could definitely see living in, and you just hop a tram to the stadium. That would be good times. But and then finally, speaking of drama, I know some people have spoken about this. I posted about this earlier because I woke up early this morning, jumped on Twitter, and just like, what is going on between Florian Plettenberg and Fabrizio Romano? I don't know if you guys have seen it. It is the epitome of middle school drama. You literally can't make this shit up. Two grown men, supposed professional journalists, mind you. I mean, is there any such thing as professional journalists these days? Anybody with a Twitter handle calls himself a journalist. Two grown men, though, getting into a Twitter argument about who broke which story first, who deletes tweets, who's going to threaten to post DMs, and who went too early with this, and all this kind of stuff. Like, it is a weird back and forth between two, you'd have to say respected journalists, right? Because they're big names in football, but at the same time, like you guys are arguing like a couple of 13-year-olds on Facebook right now. Like, it is both sad and hilarious at the same time. It's probably going to be the saddest and the funniest thing you're going to see online today, but it's just embarrassing. Like, I'm embarrassed for these individuals. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it whatsoever, man. But it's weird, dude. It's so weird. You guys, let me know if you've seen it yet. Let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know on some of these other reports what you guys make. Where's this poll up right now? Because it is literally split down the middle, 50-50, 40 votes, 50% Baleba, 50% Tchouameni. That's insane. Like, it was closer than I thought, but now it's just dead close. Manchester's better than London. I've never been to London. I had a chance to go in the fall because the PFA course that I was in, I did that postgraduate certification with the PFA. You guys know, the Professional Footballers Association. I did a year-long course with them. They actually have their graduation ceremony coming up in September. I'm not going to be going because I don't, if I'm going to Manchester already this season for United, I'm not going to spend another $1,500, $2,000 to go fly to London. just for a graduation ceremony. I've not been to my last two graduations. I didn't go to my master's. I didn't go to my bachelor's. I'm not going to this one. Plus, it's at the Emirates. I don't really want to go to the Emirates unless I just waited until after I ate all the nastiest airline food you can think of and then just found a nice toilet at the Emirates and just destroyed it with airline food. I just don't want to go to the Emirates. Unfortunately, it's too bad. It is unfortunate because it would be cool to kind of see some of the people that I was in the class with, but because obviously I'm in the U.S., didn't go to the course in person, did it virtually, but yeah, Rob, Fabrizio and Florian Plettenberg were literally just going at it on Twitter. It's so hilarious. Fabrizio is literally out here threatening to expose DMs from Florian and stuff. It's so hilarious, man. These men are grown men. It's almost as bad as the other week when Piers Morgan, I think it was Simon Jordan, were arguing on TalkSport about like who had more followers. I'm like, you guys are like 60 years old. What are you doing right now? Oh, it makes me embarrassed and sad. But it is what it is. But you guys, let me know your thoughts on everything we discussed tonight. Tchouameni, Baleba, who would you pick? So far, Baleba has just pulled ahead, you guys. So I'm going to actually go ahead and end the poll since we're out of here. Baleba wins with 51% of the votes. That's nuts. Not saying I disagree. I'm just like, it's crazy how close that was, right down to the wire there. But if you guys weren't able to catch the live, leave a thought in the comments section. You guys know I will check those out as well. Make sure to check out those memberships too, you guys. Best way to get involved. Again, last call for 20% off in the store. You can get something like your King Cantona shirt if you want. I've got mugs back here. You can see the mug behind me. There's t-shirts, there's hoodies, there's baby clothes, there's posters, there's all sorts of stuff in there. You guys check them out when you get a chance. And then most importantly, make sure if you haven't yet done so, like and subscribe, please. I appreciate all of you for getting us to 4K, and I think we're cruising on the way to 5K. So with your help, we can get there, you guys. But we'll be back later on this week. You guys know I follow the news. Quiet weekend. You guys know I don't like to bother you with nonsense or regurgitate the same stuff we've already spoken about. So we'll talk when there's news. Take it easy, everyone, for joining. If you guys were new, appreciate seeing all the new faces as well. Love seeing the community grow and hearing everyone's opinions and getting like a nice little variety of fans here. We've got some older fans in here recently, which is great as well. So enjoy the rest of your night, you guys, and enjoy the rest of your week. And I will see you guys on the next one. Take it easy.